It's Ellen. I'm coming to you from my illustrious garage workroom. Haven't been on for a few weeks. I've been so busy doing other things and working on a bunch of pieces for a lady. We are doing her furniture over in farmhouse style. So the piece I have today isn't exactly farmhouse style, but I'm going to try and make it a little bit more farmhouse for her. It's a really pretty color we're using. It's a kind of a custom mix I did. It's very light sage gray, and then the top is, I mean, I'll show you in a minute what it looked like. It was just a blonde piece of furniture. So I've added feet to it, which I'll paint black. Hi there. I've added, I painted the doors and the frame of it on the outside. So now the top we're going to do in the barnwood. So by the time I'm done and get new fixtures on it, I will have it looking pretty farmhouse, but it's going to be like a sagey gray with the barnwood top. So that's what we're working on tonight. So it won't be a very long video. I'm kind of just learning this faux barnwood technique, but I really like it because you can take any piece of wood top. So if you have an old dresser, an old buffet or something, I've done this on dressers, buffets, nightstands. It's pretty simple, but you do need at least 3 colors of stain, and you can do this with paint, although I find the stain just leaves a richer look to it. But you can do it with paint if you have the paints to do it with. So you need a light color, a medium color, and a dark color, and I'll show you the colors that I like to use. So with applying this, I use mostly gel stains because I like how gel stains are thicker and they're more manageable for me. I do have tonight though a gray that's the liquid stain they call it, which is pretty much like water. So when you're using the stains, if you can get the gel stains, you'll probably be much happier if you're not used to using stains much. I just love the gel stains. And the other thing with some of these stains is if you don't have them down to bare wood, they don't take properly, but gel stains, you only really need to scuff sand really, really well. And then they will take a coat and you can stain them. So I'll show you how this goes. I'll show you what I'm using first. I'm going to move the camera around a little bit and I won't be able to see where I am at. And I'll turn the other light on so it's a bit brighter in here. So you need a couple of chip brushes, and they can be different sizes or just, you know, a 2-inch chip brush, a couple of those, because you need one for the gray and one for the other colors. I use 3 brushes, and I reuse them too. It doesn't matter if they're a little bit hard or if you've rinsed them out in mineral spirits, that works too. You need the stain, the chip brush. You can use a rag if you want to blend it. I don't usually blend with a rag, I blend with the brushes, but you can use a rag if you want to really blend it all. Hi there. Blend it all together. And keep a little bit of mineral spirits on hand in case you make a spill over the edge or something like that. You don't want it to spill over the edge. I was going to actually tape the base of this off, but I haven't done that, so I'm going to have to be extra careful when I'm doing this tonight. So I'll show you the color it is now, which is this really blonde color. And I'm going to turn this light on and it's going to get bright. So, okay, so I'll take you over here. This is the color it is on the top, this wood color. So it's a really, this blonde color I think came out more in the 90s, early 2000s kind of thing, but it's super blonde. Even the drawers down here, which these are open drawers, the rest of it has doors on it, but these are open drawers. So I've sanded in here a little bit just to get the surface varnish off, and I'm going to darken this up in here where the open shelving is. The rest of it has doors. I'll show you what these little doors are like, and the color. I really love this color. It's a color, this color is linen lichen and ashwagandha. They're all fusion colors. I just mixed them together to make a little bit of a different color. So these doors are going here. I'll show you this. They're going down here like that. So then you'll just have these two open shelves that I'm going to just stain inside. And I probably am not even going to stain the walls of the inside. I'm just going to stain the shelving a little bit darker and not even a ton darker. I've already put one really light coat of darker stain on here. So you can see this is a little bit darker from this. But look how blonde this is. I mean, it is really, really blonde. So what I've done is I have taken my sander, and I don't know if I got that yet. So I just used 150 grit sandpaper on my sander. This is just a palm sander, and all I wanted to do was roughen up the surface. I didn't need to take it right down to bare wood. So if you're using only liquid stain, you probably need to get down to bare wood. But if you're using gel stain, you only need to scuff sand it, just like with the painting. So I'm hoping that this other stain I have today will work. If you don't have a sander, get yourself, you can use a kitchen scrubby or a sanding block and just put a piece of 100 or 150 grit over it. Sand it in the direction of the grain. So you always sand in the direction of the grain if you're staining after. And just roughen it up and then give it a good wipe with a dry cloth. Don't wet it again. After you sand your wood, don't wet it again. Because with sanding, you roughen up the surface so it creates these little tiny microscopic teeth, they call them. And they're just like little, they look like little teeth actually. But if you wet it again, you're just pushing the teeth back down into the wood, and you don't want to do that. So, with the sandpaper, you would just give it a little scuff sand to get rid of the surface varnish that was on it before. So I've got, I'm going to move you in here a little bit more. I've got a 2-inch chip brush. I have a whole bunch of stuff here to show you. This is a 4-inch chip brush. I'm going to try this today for my gray, because what you do with this is you put your lighter color down first. So if you wanted your main color to be white, you would put your white stain down first. If you want it to be gray, you put your gray stain down first. If you want it to be dark, you put your dark stain down first. So whatever. So I'm going to use this for my main stain color, which will be this dark gray. Then I've also got this color, which is called Ipswich Pine, and it's a really beautiful medium brown. It's a beautiful rich brown color. Some of the browns are really red toned, and I don't like the red tones, so I try to stay away from them. And then I've got one more brush that's been used a bit, but it's got the Kona, the really dark Kona on it. Once everything is done and you let it dry overnight, you come back with just, you make sure when you touch it the next day, if it's sticky at all, you leave it alone. You wait until it's completely dry. So even if that takes 24 hours, you would just leave it till it's completely dry. Then once you have it completely dry, you can just very lightly sand it with fine steel wool, and it just gets any nubs off the dried surface. And then you take your wipe on poly and you wipe on a coat, let it dry, scuff sand it again the next day, and then do another coat. So you should probably only need 2 to 3 coats. Some people put 4 coats or more of that. This stuff is, the polyurethane, the wipe on poly is a plastic. So I use this for things that things are going to be set on, like if there's something wet going to be put on it. In this case, this is actually her TV stand. So it's going to have a TV on it, so I want to make sure it's sealed enough that it doesn't really scratch up the wood underneath when they put their TV unit on it. And fortunately for them, they actually brace their TV unit down, so I think that'll really help. So I'm just going to give it one last little wipe here to make sure I've got the dust off. So normally I would take my plastic and tape this off so that I didn't have this showing. And also normally you would stain first and then paint, but I did it backwards this time, so you'll have to forgive me. So okay, this is the, I'll bring this over to you. So this is the stain. That is my gray. It's a Flandrens. What's the name of this one? Ultimate Wood Stain. I don't know, it just says Ultimate Wood Stain in gray. So this is the gray, but look how runny that is, right? And I've stirred it. You always want to stir your stain every time you use your stain. Make sure that you, look how runny that is. It's super runny. But it says one coat, and it says it's got its own primer, so I'm hoping that's true. Compared to this, and I don't think I have a stick out here, but this is a gel stain, and gel stain is like pudding, literally. It's very gooey, which is nice when you're applying things. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I should have some of this poured into a tin, I guess, but I don't. So if you can see well enough there, I'm just going to move this over a bit so you can see better. Maybe pull you in a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to take my gray, just dab it on my brush. You don't need a ton. And I'm going to start making like Barnwood streaks. And I can see already that this gray is not liking this wood, because this gray is not a gel stain. So I'm hoping it'll work even still. I'll try and work it in a little bit. So I'm making my gray base of my aged Barnwood, and I don't really want it to be like super duper Barnwoodish, I guess, if you want to use that term. But I do want to have the gray as the base, so let's just keep going. And see there, it's a bit thick, so I will work that out a little bit. I don't see this wanting to stick very well, so I might have to switch stains. So here I've got too much, right? So what I'm going to do is just wipe some of that off, because it's too opaque, it's too clear. And that will clear some of that up. So this is just your base coat, whatever color. If you want it white, like I said, as your base coat, you can use white stain. If you're doing this with paints, you can just use your white paint, your gray paint, your whatever color paints you have. Okay, so it doesn't look like much, right? In fact, some areas it's pretty messy. So now I'm going to take my my Kona, which is my darkest color, and I've just got very, very, very little on here, and I'm going to start making some lines. And you just want this to be random. So this would be like your board, you know, where boards are put together kind of thing. This would be your lines. They don't have to be full lines. They can be a bit broken up, a bit random. Okay. And the nice thing about this is it stays workable for quite a while, so you can really get into it. I'm going to take my medium brown, which is the Ipswich Pine, and I absolutely love this color. So I've got quite a bit more of the Ipswich Pine on, and I'm going to go into every light area and put the Ipswich Pine. Get that on. I should have put it in a little bowl to work with, but I didn't, so put this in there. You can see it starting to come together, but we're not there yet, so I'll show you what we do next. It's really kind of cool. I just absolutely love doing this for changing the look of any wood top. I've done this on some really nice pieces. I did it on the wine hutch that we have done. If you want to see that video, you can go see that one. I've done it on a 9-drawer dresser we did. I've done it on some nightstands. I've done it on quite a few things already. That's really pretty. So I'm just grabbing some of this excess and pulling it up here. Okay, so that just looks kind of tacky. Looks pretty like grade 1-ish. But that's how you put it on, okay? Then you can take your large brush, and I should probably have had another large brush, but I'm just gonna wipe the excess off this one here. Keep it kind of dry. And then I'm just gonna start blending these out together. You just keep working it, working it, working it, working it. So this is going to be a really aged looking one because it's got a lot of gray in it. And you can see these dark marks are getting blended out so that they're just blending right into the other and they don't look like lines in the... Oop, that's a bit too much, but I'll blend that out again. And you can wait, do another coat when this is dry. And do all your touch-ups if you want to add more color or less color. Doesn't matter. It's really fast. Just make sure you go right to your ends. Like so. Now. So this is getting a little tiny bit sticky. So what I would do is have a little bit of mineral spirits. Actually, I can probably get some here in a second. If you just add a little bit of mineral spirits to the tip of your brush, just a tiny little bit, it will reconstitute the stain and open it up again for you so it's not tacky, but it's just enough that I can still work it out. So I want to get rid of all of these big lines here. And I'm going to add a little bit more in here, just for some definition. A little bit more here. You just keep working it until you get it, till you have it where you really like the look of it. What I'm going to do with the edges, because I've got some over the edges, is I'm just going to wipe it, and I am going to stain these edges anyway. So I'm not too worried about that, but I don't want any dripping on my piece below, that's for sure. So, and like with Barnwood, if you've ever really looked at it, it does age differently all over the piece. So, you know, you're not going to get a piece of Barnwood that ages exactly the same throughout the piece of Barnwood, because it just, that's how wood is. It will just age randomly all over the place. So this is pretty much all there is to it. If I wanted to let this dry and then go at it tomorrow, I could touch it up or add more of the lines. I could add more gray if I thought I wanted more gray. I could add more of the medium brown if I wanted more medium brown. I could touch up all the edges. Super easy to do. And now some people take a rag and they will just start blending with the rag. So I'm not going to do that because my stain is too dry now, but if you had this, like I had it at the beginning where it was just fresh stain and it's wet, you can definitely do that. So I've got a bit too much gray there I don't like, so I'm going to add some more. You see how that lightens it up there all of a sudden? And just take out a bit of that heavy gray. Same in there. So each color will work for you. You just have to figure out where you want the details. And if you don't really know what Barnwood looks like, go look it up, because it's generally an aged wood that looks like it's got a bit of old gray, yucky stain. I think it's a cool look, and every time I've ever done this to a piece, people have always raved about it. So there we go. So I will probably do another touch-up coat tomorrow because it's not exactly how I would like it, but it's getting pretty close. I think I'll put a little bit more of the lighter color in here though, and blend some of this out that just got splattered, and that's fine. Just keep working it out. So I do recommend getting a 4-inch brush or 3.5-inch brush, chip brush. The chip brushes are really necessary for this because they will pull the stain, whereas a soft brush, it's just going to make a mess pretty much. So that is it pretty much. And tomorrow I'm going to be putting on the hardware, and then I'm going to post it on our online. So once this is dry, I will scuff sand it with like a 400 grit. It has to be super dry before you touch it with sandpaper. Scuff sand it just to get any nibs off. If you wanted to do a touch-up coat, that would be when you would do it. Let it dry again overnight, scuff sand it again, and then apply wipe-on poly. And then once your wipe-on poly is dry, scuff sand it again, apply a second coat, scuff sand that again, and then you can wax it if you want, or you can just leave it. So I'm going to do 2 coats of poly once that's all done. But that's pretty much it. So I'll show you from this angle. Alright. So do you see how it brought up the grain really nicely? And that's the faux Barnwood Look using gray, medium brown, and dark brown. So I hope that helped you guys. It's kind of a fun thing to do, and I think it just makes a piece look really rich, and my idea with this is farmhouse look. So there you go, and leave any comments. Share this with your friends. It'll be up on YouTube in the next couple of days, so you can watch it there as well. Thanks guys, see you later.